Alright, we're up and running. Hi, Internet. How we doing? We have something to talk about first, but I do want to mention Soundout12 put out his video. That ran down the G.I. Joe classified. I about to say declassified. No, classified series figures. And a moment in there had made me physically stop the video. I had to go grab my mom and be like, I need to hear this bit. Because it is one of those... I can't believe he said those, because that's wrong. That's wrong in such a way that I don't understand how you came to that conclusion. And the word was, here is this compound bow equipped with a silencer. And I'm like... Sound out, please. Sound out, please. Sound out, please! The kind of funny bit about it is that he's technically right in a certain extent, because it's a stabilizer is what is attached to the bow. It's the Night Stalker figure. It's called a stabilizer. It's mainly to like compensate for the vibrations that happen when you release a arrow from a bow. It's actually the big long bit that's bolted onto the front of archery bows. If you've ever watched like Olympic archery or like any kind of like professional archery, it's that big long stick. But here it's a little smaller because this is like a compound bow instead of like a regular normal bow. But yeah, I just, the moment I'm just like, oh god damn it. There's a few others in like the last video he did. But I'm just like, god damn it, Sounded. I want to roast you on all this shit, but god damn it. Anyway, before we get to Pokemon TCG tonight, we have cards to talk about. But not Pokemon cards, because... God damn it. It never does the 50-50 right. So, as announced last night, and I mentioned this as I was ending up got announced and stuff, and well, I might have stayed up and did a thing. So Bandai has announced that they're doing a campaign to pick 10 cards to be made into Legend Rider Kami cards. I guess in a set they'll sell in the future or as part of something else. We'll find out more or less April 26th. But we have 2 voting periods. The first from last night to the 21st. Technically, it'd be like the 20th because of time zones. And then there will be a small stopgap, and then from like the 22nd to the 29th, you'll be able to pick 3 characters and or forms to vote for once a day, every day within these periods. You cannot double down on picks. You do have to like pick 3 unique choices. But they've divided them up as such. So you've got the Shore Rider selection, you've got the Kuga, Aito, Ryuki, etc., etc., etc. Until you get down here into the Other Works section. And this is what the Shore Rider ballot looks like. For reference, folks, if you're deciding to cheat at this. It is per device. As they say, it is not per IP. AKA, if you have multiple browsers, congratulations, you have multiple votes then. Because I voted through Chrome, and this is Firefox, and it will let me vote through Firefox. So, it is certainly cheesable. But what I ended up doing is I took the translations some people did, which is just Google Translations. People did in Sodapop Discord, kind of like jumpstart. And here is a nice little cheat sheet of what the ballot is. Josh, Living Ranger Key, actually used this in his video talking about it today and credited me, which, thanks. Good to know that something I do around here is appreciated. So when I do something like this, somebody actually appreciates the work. Because like a lot of time it is for just for myself, but like it's nice to know like it's helping some. But this is what the ballot looks like, and I'll like zoom in to like help. So these should be in the order they are on the ballot itself. So if your Google Translate's not cooperating with you, or like you can't really translate it, you can just look at this and go, oh, the pick I want is like 8 down, and you can just go 8 down and pick that one. But this does glean some interesting things about like who's on this ballot and who's not on this ballot. So we're just gonna go category by category. Show writers, no real surprises here. It's all the main show writers that haven't gotten cards yet, aka not Ichigo and Ego. Stronger Charge Up, Burrow Rider, and Bio Rider are also on this list, and Shadow Moon's on this list, but no Tackle because something fucking I don't know. I get annoyed about that every time now. For no other reason than to just be annoyed. Kuga is entirely form changes. It's pretty much everything except Mighty and Ultimate, because both of those have received cards at this point. So no surprises there. Agito is all of the forms he's gotten, or he has not received a card for, so Storm, Flame, Trinity, Burning. Gills and Exceed Gills is here, G3X is here, G4 is here, and curiously enough, G3 Mild, which is from a little Televicon special, if I recall correctly. I think it was the Televicon special. Ryuki-wise, Night Survive is here. And then the rest of the Ryuki riders, except for the alternatives. There are no alternatives. There's no alternative or alternative 0. So if you're hoping to get Kami cards for them, that's not happening. But I will point out, overall, no final form for a main rider is on this list. We have not received final form cards, or final form Right Kami cards, for like half of the remaining, I think, just Heisei riders. Yes, it'd be half of the remaining Heisei riders. They should be coming in the next core set. They're not present on this ballot. But also, interesting enough, every other rider that would probably slot into like that Dark Rider, Dread Rider, or however you want to call it, situation that we had with the last core set, that like was Eternal, Evolt, Necrom, and the like, all of those respective riders are on this ballot. We're probably not getting more than just the other Heisei riders' final forms in the next core set. Unless they decide to swerve us. Who knows? Anyway. Fies Axel's here. Delta Orgus Saiga are here. Riot Troopers here. And then all of the Paradise Reimagined stuff. Or not Reimagined. Regained stuff. So next Fies Axel, next Kai's Axel, and Muse. Again, though, kind of interesting. I thought I saw a next Fies, might have been next Fies Axel card, but I guess it was fake. Because I know I saw that, and I saw like a Right Commons Right Kimmy card. I guess both of those were fake. Blade-wise, it's just the 2 Jack forms, Chalice and Wild, and then the 3 missing Ace Riders. Hibiki is a very long list. It is the most in terms of like this first lineup from like Showa to Decade. Hibiki's Kurenai form, and then pretty much every other rider that appeared in the series or in the opening, I believe, because all the like this middle portion, like right in here. Plus, I believe like Toki is all riders that only appeared in the second opening of Hibiki. Might be wrong on that. But yeah, the rest of the Onis from like rest of the riders from 7 Oni are here. The transformed versions of Akira and Kyosuke are here. That's Kyosuke's proper rider form, essentially. And Akira, technically, he's double listed, but we'll get to that. Another curious one, Kabuto's masked form is here, since his right Kimi card is technically his rider form. And then Zabi, Drake, and Sasort are just their rider forms. No masked forms for the 3 of them. And then it's just the rest of the riders from there. So Kick Hopper, Punch Hopper, and then the Godspeed Love riders. Deno, no real surprises here. Just the Dino forms, the Xeranos forms, and then like the rest of the Dino Riders we haven't gotten. Kiva has a weird inclusion. We have like his three other like main forms, and then Dogabaki, which is like his fusion form. But then we have Kiva Flight Style, which is like this like dragon bat form he takes in his movie. Which, fucking sure, I guess. I don't understand why that's here instead of something like Emperor Dogabaki, but Ixa Safe is here, which is not too different from normal Ixa anyway, so Ixa Rising, and then Saga Ray and Arc to round out the rest of the Kiva Riders. Decade, we have Violent Emotion, just to give Decade a slot within his own category. Oddly enough, I believe Ryuki is the only rider that does not have a option to get another card in this ballot. Every other main rider has some way of getting another card for them, specifically. Ryuki has no option. Even though we could technically do a blank form Ryuki, which, what the Kemi would look like for a blank form Ryuki, I don't know, but that's like the job of whoever like has to design this stuff. The Incomplete Form's here, Kivala's here, Rising Ultimate Kuga is here, Abyss is here, and then Amaki is technically Akira, but in a proper rider form from the Hibiki 2-parter for Decade. She's just I think a reuse of the Ibuki suit. I think it's just an identical suit. I think there's no difference, if I recall correctly. But she's technically double listed here in the ballot. Coming back over and back down. All doubles half changes are here, including Fang Joker. No Fang Metal Fang Trigger for manga fans out there. Gold Extreme is here. Axel's other two forms are here. Skull and Skull Crystal are here. And then Red Flare Eternal from the Eternal V Cinema. And then Joker from A to Z is here. No Kamen Rider Cyclone. Even though usually Cyclone gets thrown in here because it's just it's just a basic repaint of double. O's. All the main show combos are here. No random combos. So Gatsukiriba, Latrata, Sogozo, Tajador, Shouta. Tamashi from Let's Go. Burakawani from 21 Core Metals. And Super Tajaba from Megamax are here. Tajador Eternity from the V Cinema is here as well. Birth Proto, Birth X are here. Kamen Rider Core made the cut. Because of course he does. I love how we keep going like, Core. Core is officially a rider. We're not leaving out Core. This big CGI fire thing. Akuma Poseidon from Megamax, and then King O's and Goda from the V Cinema made the cut. Forze. Just the other state, just his other main form changes, like Fire, Magnet, Rocket. The two fusion states are listed separately. Meteor Storm is here, and then Nadeshiko is on her own. Wizard, all of his main form changes are here. All Dragon and Special Rush are two separate options, even though one is, they're basically repaints of each other. Special Rush is just a red version of All Dragon. Infinity Dragon and Infinity Gold Dragon, technically, are here. Beast Hyper is here. This is interesting because somebody asked me about this in the Discord, and I just had to shrug and go, that's how it's listed. Kamen Rider Mage, which technically can refer to like at least four specific instances in both Wizard and Wizard's movie. I assume since the Zukon lists Kamen Rider Mage as the trio of mages from the series, and they're all one listing, you're pretty much voting for the three of them. That's my assumption. Otherwise, Sorcerer and Wise Man, who is White Wizard, are there to round it out. Gaim is a big, stupid long list. It's like third most in the ballad. Pretty much all of Gaim's other forms. Kachidoki, Pine, Fruit Ichigo, not Rider Ichigo. There are no Rider arms in the listing at all, not even for 15. His Watermelon arms, Jimba Lemon, just Jimba Lemon, no other lemons, or no other Jimbas, and then Black Jimba from the movie. Baron has Mango, Lemon Energy, and Ringo. No Lord Baron, even though they love to use Lord Baron all the time for him. No Lord Baron, which is kind of interesting. Zangetsu, Melon, his Suika, or his, technically it's Watermelon arms because it's different than the other one. I should probably designate that as Suika instead of Watermelon. His Kachidoki, Melon Energy, Ryugen has Budo Kiwi and Yomotsu Hegre. Raiden has Dawn Green Lychee. Kurakage, just remember Kurakage. Baron has his two, or Bravo has his 2 forms. Knuckle has his 2 forms. Duke has his 3 forms. Marika, Sigurd, 15, Mars, Kamuro, Shin Kurakage, Jam, Bujingain, Idun, Tyrant, Savior, Black Baron, all present, all accounted for. That's pretty much the rest of the Gaim riders. Interesting enough, Kurakage Trooper is an option, even though it's basically Kurakage with a different faceplate on the driver. And lastly, Selfie. Drive. Confused me for a little bit on one of these. So the rest of Drive's forms: Wild Technique, Dead Heat, Formula, Showed Dead Heat from the movie, Special from the movie, Zero Drive from Drive Ghost, Mock Dead Heat. I have it broke down this way to make it a little bit easier to kind of like understand. Mock Chaser form is the one from the show. And then Mock Chaser form is the one from the V Cinema. Just for simplicity's sake. And then Chaser, Protodrive. I thought this was Machine Chaser for a second because I was trying to compare the kanji and I couldn't find a match until someone was like, June? In the Stud Pop Discord? And I was like, it's probably fucking June. Double check. It's fucking June. June, Lupin, Dark Drive, Heartbrain, and then Sango and Yongo. Ghost. The top of this is like a, what? Why? Okay, sure. Tosan. Tosan Boost. It's technically listed as Tosan Damashi. It's not even Boost. Tosan Damashi is the early appearance of Boost in the Drive Ghost movie. That is literally just Boost. There's no visual difference between it and regular Boost. And then just below it is Tokan Boost. I literally had to check 3 goddamn times because I thought I was going insane. Like, there is no way this is, I'm reading this as Tosan Boost. No, this has to be Tokan Boost. Except when I check the next one down and it's like, nope, that's how Tokan Boost is spelled. That's Tokan Boost. What? Okay, fine. And then Grateful, pretty much all the heroic icons are present here. The only, like, additions to those 15 heroic icons are Tenkatotsu from Heisei Generations, Darwin Boost specifically from Ghost solo film, the Heisei, like, Grateful repaint from, like, the Heisei Rider specials and stuff that Ghost did is on here. Spectre's 2 additional forms, Deep and Sin, and then Necrom's Yojuro Boost from the Spectre V Cinema. All 4 Dark Necroms are present. Dark Ghost is here, plus his form change with Napoleon, and then Extremer, Zero Spectre, and then Count Spectre. X-Aid is like the second longest. So pretty much all of X-Aid's additional forms are here. And like the best way to break this down is all of the level 1 forms for the core 5 riders of X-Aid, which is X-Aid, Brave, Snipe, Laser, Get 'em. Those are all present. All the level 3 forms are present. X-Aid gets an additional slot for his use of Shakakiri Sports. Only X-Aid's level 4 is present with his Burgermon one. And then only X8 has his individual level 5 Dragonite Hunter form. Anyone else that uses Dragonite Hunter gets the full version of it. And that includes X8. So X8 technically has 2 Dragonite Hunter options. Both Mighty Action Double X forms are here. The little chibi one, and then the 2-person one. Maximum Mighty X is here. Creator Gamer from the movie is here. And then Pac-Man Gamer, which is the only one of, like, the actual Bandai Namco game-based gas hats is here. I had to double-check that one because I was like, Pac... Like, it was just like Pac something something in the translation. I was like, is this like the Pac-Man, like, gas hat? And it turns out, yes, it is. Let's see. Brave level 1, Brave level 3. Brave 50 and 100 are here. Snipe 5 and 50. Laser, his level 1 and 2 or 3 are his 3. He also gets his level 0 Laser Turbo form. And then his level X form from the V Cinemas. Genom, the only additions here, besides like the 1, 2, 3 situation, is his level X Zombie form, his God Max Mighty form from the V Cinemas, and that's it. No other Genom forms in this list. We'll come back to that later. Paradox, all 3 of his forms, his 250s, and then Perfect Knockout. Poppy is here. Kronos is here. Just Kronos, not Gamdeus Kronos. True Brave is here from the movie. Fuma from the movie is here. No Ninja Player, because I double-checked that. No Ninja Player, just Fuma. Another Paradox from the V Cinema. And then Right Player Nico and Right Player as separate options. Build. Oh boy. So, the rest of Build's main forms are here. Sparkling, Hazard, Rabbit, Tank. Cross Build from the movie, and then the Rabbit Dragon trial form from the final episode is here. Then, I think every best match from the show was here. In these, like, 7 best match special. So, like, Gorillamon, Hawk Gatling, Nin Comic, etc., etc., etc. I think this is all of them. I do not remember. But I think it's all of them. Cross Charge, Great Cross, and then Cross Magma are here. Cross Evolve from the movie. Freeze, Blizzard, and Perfect Kingdom. Rouge and Prime Rouge. Evolts, Dragon, Rabbit, and Black Hole forms are options. Mad Rouge an option, and then Blood, Killabus, and then Metal Build and Phantom Build are separate options. Geo. His main forms, Decade, Geo2, Trinity, Oma, and then pretty much all the different Legend Rider forms, including Genom, that were used in the show are present, and in the movies, because Kuga and Double are under Geos. Revive has 2 options. You can go Goretsu or Shippu in your choices. I don't know why they're really separate options, since they're both the same. Gates Majesty is here as well. Waz is here, and then all of Waz's forms are. So, Shinobi, Quiz, Kikai, and then Ginga. Tsukiyomi is here, and then the rest of the future writers are here as well. Shinobi, Hatari, Quiz, Kikai, Ginga. Barlix, Sonjus, and Zamonis are here from Overquartzer, and then Decade Complete 21 from those wonderfully god-awful specials are here as well. 01. All of 01's, like extra progress keys. Fighting Shark, Flying Falcon, Flaming Tiger, Freezing Bear, Breaking Mammoth, they're present. Shining and Shining Assault Hopper here. Metal Cluster. Fucking Realizing Hopper is here, and that gives me an aneurysm, because fucking why? Don't you fucking retcon what that suit looks like, Bandai. No. No. No, you're not allowed. I don't care. Alright. 001 from the movie. Arc 1 is listed up high, marking it as a 01 form, and kind of like how these lists are made rather than a separate writer. Sure. And then Hell Rising Hopper from the movie. Vulcan, Punchy Kong, Assault Wolf, Rampage, Orthros, and Lone Wolf. Valkyries, Cheetah, Hornet, and Justice Serval Tiger, or Justice Serval form are here. Thouser is here. Sting Scorpion and Arc Scorpion for Roby. Flying Falcon and Burning Falcon for Jin. Naki Ikazuchi are here. Arc Zero's here. Ichigata. Eden, Lucifer. Abaddon. Just Abaddon, even though there's 4 of them. I think 4 or 5. I forget which. Zaya, and then Metsubo Jinrai. Saber! All of his main forms are present. Crimson, Dragonic, Emotional, Primitive, Elemental, Cross Saber Crimson, and then Cross Saber featuring. Much like 01, Almighty is here because fucking why not, I guess. Interestingly, weirdly enough, this is like the part that like confuses me because no other Saber Rider gets this like caveat. Saber Dragon Eagle, Saber Dragon Alangina, and then Saber Dragon Arthur. And then Dragon Hedgehog Peter. Kind of weird off combo, like more or less Wonder Rider combos. Made the cut, just these, not any others. And just for reference, no other Wonder Rider combo is present on the list except these 4. Which again is very strange. Super Osinki is here if you want to get like another, like essentially Sentai adjacent Ride Kimi card, because that's an option. Let's see, Fantastic Lion, King Lion, Tatagami are here. Espada, Alangina, Golden Alangina, and Arabian Night. Buster was actually not on the initial ballots we saw via tweets, but with the ballot update, when the ballot actually opened to vote, he got added in, and I think a couple other things probably got added in. Kenzan and Slash are also here. Calibers, Jakku, and Jowl Dragon are options. Saikyo has Gendo Buki and X Swordsman. Sable, Durandal, Falchion are here. Final Falchion, as I call him, or Falchion using Amazing Siren from Trio of Deep Simon is here. I'm waiting for someone to actually call me out on the name and be like, what the fuck is that? No one has that has looked at this list. And then Solomon and Storius. Revice is actually the longest list, and that is because there's a very fun thing about it. So Revi himself, Barrett and Volcano are here for him, and then Revice Jack and then Revice Thundergale are options right at the top, along with Kamen Rider Igarashi. And then the other 9 genomes plus Neobata are here. So, Eagle, Mammoth, Patera, Lion, Megalodon, Jackal, Kong, Mantis, Neobata. Actually, now to think about it, Brachio's missing. That's not all 9. 1 second. I might have miscounted there. 1, 2. Yeah, they replaced Brachio with Neobata on this list, essentially. But we also have Revi Beat Form from the Geats movie. Vice is the same situation. Top of it is Barrett Rex, his Barrett Rex version. And then those same, like, 9 offshoot, like, side forms to match up with Revi. And then, much like Revi Beat, you have Vice Monster from that same movie. Live and Evil both have their Jackal forms. Live has his Holy form. And then Evil T Live. And then they both have Marvelous on the ballad. John just has Cobra and Invincible. Demons is just listed on his own, so I put in Spider Genome to kind of give a designation of like, this is basic base Demons. Because we also have his Imperial form from the V Cinema. Over Demons, the 2 Demons Troopers, Aguilera, Bale, Destrium, Juga, Sentry, Chimera, Daimon, Dark Aguilera. Get Over Demons, which is technically a separate writer, not a form change, because fuck it, who cares? It got like 5 seconds of screen time. And then Orteka. Geats has another little oddity within it. The 2 Fever forms, like main Fever forms, Fever Boost and Fever Magnum, just for Geats. No one else has Fever forms. And then Command jet or command cannon and command jet are separate options for not just Geats, but also for Tycoon, which is very strange that is a choice you can make. Geats Power Builder is here. Boost Mark II is here as well. Laser Boost is here. Boost Mark III and Oneness. Those two command forms are just Tycoon's. Or the only options Tycoon has. Buffa has his regular Jamato form. Not Jamashin, because we've already gotten that. But his base, like, just the Jamato armor that he used, I think, a few times in the series. And Explosion Rage from the V Cinema. And then pretty much every basic Desire Driver rider that mattered and showed up. So, Shiro, G-Pen, Mary, Dapon, Punkjack, Kilo, Letter, Natsparrow, Lopo, Groovy, Bucci, Hakubi, Turbon, Braille, Yako. All of them are present. Glare 2 to round out the Glare riders. Regard and Regard Omega to round out the, the Zillion users. And Gazer 0, because we're going to sneak that in before anyone even gets to really see the special, because the special's still not even out yet. Seekers here, Crossgeets and Doomsgeets are here from their respective films as well. And lastly, there is the Other Works. This is essentially the spin-off, like, you kind of just exist on your own. So, Ichigo from the 2016 Ichigo movie, buff old man Ichigo, from when, like, around Ghost time period. That is an option. All 5 of the Go Riders are options. All of the Amazon Riders are options, but no option for Omega's form change for Neo Omega. So it's Omega, Alpha, Sigma, Neo, Neo Alpha. Ichigo and Nigo from specifically Kamen Rider the first, and then V3 specifically from Kamen Rider the next. I think Ichigo and Nigo are different in the next from when they appeared in the first. I think their suits are different. So I made sure to have that distinction. For anyone that cares. The 1000 arc form for Thouser from essentially episode 0 of Outsiders. And then Gena Muso Gamer from that same special. And then Disaster from Outsiders. Oja Survive from Outsiders. Garen King form from Outsiders. And then Zen from Outsiders. And that is the entire ballot. Like I said, it's pick 3 per day, per voting period. It's going to be 10 cards in total out of, I don't even remember. I don't think I've calculated how many, like, possible options there are. Pick who you desire. I think I'm just going to pick all the female riders because fuck it. Our secondary is a female rider. Why not, like, push it? Yeah, I wanted to go over that on stream because, you're like, if you're wanting to vote and, like, want to know, like, what's on the ballot without spending 6,000 years trying to translate and figure out what the hell's going on, there you go. That was not the button I wanted to hit. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of interesting that there's no missing riders, essentially. At least not overtly. That would suggest that they're going to come in, like, set, I believe it's, like, 4 of the Geats, of the, like, the core Geats Chemi card sets. So, I guess it will just be the final forms of those riders. Maybe parallels for specific final forms for, like, the other riders. Wow, my hand was shit. Oh, no. That's not a great start. Granted, our opponent also, oh, we had a mulligan twice. So did our opponent. I guess it all goes even at that point. Hell yeah. Oh, they got 3 off the bat. Oh, that's not good. Oh, they had to take an extra one. Woohoo! Let's see, this, and you know what, this. Lucario, please, thank you. Todd Endo. But yeah, that part's interesting. The Final Forms not being there very much says, hey, next set's going to be the rest of these Final Forms. So you have a complete set of them. I guess the Dread Riders are gonna, those Dread Dark Riders are gonna be just the ones we got from 3, like set 3 and then Wafer 3. It'll just be them and that's it. I actually don't know when set 4 is. No collectors, help. Tell me when. Yeah, click there. Yeah. Gotcha art option. When does phase 4? May, so this will already be done by then. Okay, that was what I was curious about, if like this vote will be done by then. I'm curious to see what they'll do for Jeed and Valvarid card-wise. Because I feel like we're gonna get, because we've got technically a Legend Rider like equivalent card with Gotchard. It's just him holding the 2 cards that make up his base form. I'm curious if Valvarid and Majid will get equivalents of those. It feels like something they will do. Did that do? Oh, okay. Fair enough. I mean, we'll take the buff. That's like 2 knockouts. And 3 prize cards, damn. Nice, we got a field spell. Hell yeah. Our opponent was just like, nope, we're done. Goodbye. We are Audi 5000. We got a fancy version of the bosses. Where's that Gengar? We were just fighting. Good lord. Hey, Devil Spidey, how's it going? Yes, I am playing the Pokemon TCG. It's one of those things I rotate around on Friday pre-shows. It's like this Marvel Snap and I guess Balatro now. I just rotate them out every week or so. It is fairly easy to get into, if I'm being honest. Granted, I have Pokemon knowledge background, because I play the Pokemon games. But I'll be honest, between trying to get into Yu-Gi-Oh! And then trying to get into Pokemon, Pokemon is the far simpler option. I mean, I'm too late on that one. Granted, I have stayed away from Yu-Gi-Oh! In the last, like, couple of years or so, but, like, I am well aware of, like, what Yu-Gi-Oh! Entails. That doesn't help me any. Who's gonna do this? It's not the best decision. Yeah, that's like... I follow a couple, like, YouTubers that talk about this. Like, the problem with Yu-Gi-Oh! Is everything is legal in Yu-Gi-Oh! Regardless of how old the card is. From, like, literally the beginning to now, every card is legal. Which means power creep is a huge thing in the game. And right now in Yu-Gi-Oh! If you are not running what's called hand traps, which is essentially card in your hand that you get to hold up and reveal and say, no, you're not allowed to do the thing you were just doing. Too bad. You're gonna lose because your opponents are running that exact thing. Because that's kind of standardized now. And I believe some archetypes are even, like, incorporating that into their, like, powers. Instead of it being, like, these one-off, like, cards that are not necessarily tied to any archetype, like Ash Blossom and, like, Roland Lockbird, I believe. Holy shit, we got the triple. Goodbye! But yeah, that's, like... 8 to 12 cards, I believe, that you have to dedicate to this kind of, like, support structure. And then it's your archetype. And depending on the archetype you're running, it could, like, be, you know, fun to play with, or absolutely useless against certain archetypes. I like to play E-Heroes. Specifically, like, the generic, like, Omni Heroes that don't require any, like, specific heroes to use. That weren't in, like, the GX anime. I like to run that. I'm practically fucked against, like, anything that's modern and anything that's current. I am not winning against, like, any sort of modern archetype. I just can't. That is how much of a power difference there is between those specific cards. I know of stuff beyond GX because I liked 5Ds and I still like 5Ds. I was into Yu-Gi-Oh! As a kid, growing up. So pretty much like beginning of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, all that. And I actually collected the cards. I didn't play because I didn't know if there was a scene at all in my small-ass hometown in the South. I just collected the cards because I thought they were cool and I liked the show. But I fell off, like, not too long in. But I still watched the show, and I remember watching, I believe, GX. I don't think I ever watched dubbed 5Ds. I think it was, like, until I was, like, I was older that I watched, like, subbed 5Ds. But what got me back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Was Arc 5. Because I watched it, I was enjoying it, you know, I was enjoying the story and stuff, and then the show took the slow descent. Oh, good lord. Somebody's got to ruin it for everyone. I believe, stateside, it was always on WB Kids. At least through 5Ds. I do not remember what happened to Zexel. I know it ended up on, is it Nickelodeon? For Arc 5? Because I know about the Arc 5 dub names that make me just every time I hear them for specific characters, because Yuzu is Yuzu, not Zuzu. Zuzu is a stupid ass name. Anyway. Arc 5, the show itself, took this slow descent into just being bad over time, and it took a while to get there. By the time we got to, like, the third season, essentially, of that show, I was very frustrated with the show, and, like, I've never really watched in full the final couple episodes of that show. That killed a lot of my interest in Yu-Gi-Oh! And killed a lot of interest in a couple friends of mine. That got us playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Amongst ourselves. Because we were using, whatever is that free... This was before Master Duel. Fighting on motorcycles is 5Ds. Arc 5 is the one that's where it's multiple dimensions. And it's more or less a crossover. Yeah, 5Ds is the one with the motorcycles and the dragons and the card games on motorcycles memes. By the way, it's also like the best show of the franchise. Like, I know it's a meme, but also it's like the best put together show. I'll admit, the motorcycles are weird, but they make it work. But yeah, once Arc 5 took a nosedive, it killed pretty much an interest amongst me and a couple friends that were playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I kept going when Master Duel came around because I was like, oh, I'll play Master Duel. And like the first time I tried Master Duel, I was like, I'll do E-Heroes. And what's the meta at the time? Fucking Drytron, which is negate, 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 negate. Do you want to play a video game? Too bad. Too bad. You have to make it through 8 different negates in order to play anything. Pretty much. That was right when Master Duel launched. That was the meta. And I kept running into Drytron. And since then, I've, like, casually kept up with Yu-Gi-Oh! As a, I wonder what new cards are out and such, and have not played the game at all. In a long-ass long time. Like, I've seen, hey, new Trickstar cards, because... if there is, like, anything approaching meta that I would like to play, it's Trickstars, which is essentially, do you want to play a card? You have to pay 200 life points. Oh, you wanna draw a card? Pay 200 life points. Oh, you want to activate it? You gotta pay 200 life points. It's essentially like, I'm sorry, there's now a life points tax on everything you do. Let's see how long you last. I find it fun because, like I said, I'm basically making my opponent go, I'm sorry, you have to pay your taxes now. I do hope. Yeah, that is Yu-Gi-Oh! It is very much decided on who gets to go first and what are you playing on turn 1. If you open up and get to do 5 million things, congratulations, you probably. I have a deck like that because it is a synchro deck that lets me like pull out some of the 5D's dragon stuff. That is that kind of nonsense, but it also is bricky because that's kind of still the nature of the game. You either do something ridiculously stupid and dumb on turn 1, or you don't. And if you did or not, that's your win or your loss. Yeah, like E-Heroes, I like... I'm trying to remember. I like the... Virus Control spell. I've seen some Dark Magician decks that are fun, if just annoying in the fact of, well, I just gonna keep pulling out Dark Magician. I'm like, okay, I get it. You have to do this because otherwise your deck doesn't function, but like it is annoying to be like, oh, I got rid of Dark Magician. Nope, I just get to pull it right back out. I don't think anything I've enjoyed is like older than E-Heroes. No. Anything I enjoyed was like at least later than that, because it's like X-Sabers are like a synchro archetype. The Pendulum Dragons are Arc 5. It's been so long I don't remember any of the decks I ran. I can say that whenever Bandai gets their shit together and like gives us a Digimon client, I will absolutely try out the Digimon TCG. Because I would like to actually try the Digimon TCG. It seems fun. And they get to have to remove one off the board. Oh, I didn't need an extra energy. Thought I needed one. Fun part is now I have to be careful because this Arcanine has this wonderful ability called Raging Claw, which it does a baseline 30, which doesn't sound too like bad, but then it's like 10 more damage for every damage counter on this card. So, if it gets up to like 240 damage before it dies, that's 270 back to you on its next turn. Which, hurts, shall we say. A lot. Now that I apparently have not been super hard paying attention because I just realized our opponent only has like 4 cards in their deck. They have almost decked themselves out, and I've done nothing. Apparently they've been drawn like crazy. I think it technically means that like we can like stall out and still beat them. Granted, I've done that before. One of my decks in here. Actually, it is my fire deck. My fire deck, the Chin Yu has the option of either doing a bunch of damage or discarding the top 2 cards of your opponent's decks, and I have actually won off a deck out. Also, I see that. That's what I was afraid of. This Charizard is stupid powerful and incredibly dangerous. As you've just seen. Because it is like 180 plus an additional 30 for every prize card we've taken. So that's 30 times 5 plus... like I think it's like 300. Yeah, that's 330 damage. That he can just drop on us whenever he desires. So, yeah. Not great. We cannot survive a single one of those. Period. Just to put it out there, we can't survive taking a hit from that. As you can see. I think our best is 270, which just got blown up. And we can do probably max, I think, like, maybe 160. Like, the poison helps, but it's not going to be enough. Like, that helps. You play the video game, you get the dust, and then you craft the cards. I don't think you can financially spend money in this game directly. Oh, thank God, that was actually enough. Yeah, I can show that here. So, you've got Poke coins that you gain per battle. You only use these to unlock cosmetics for your trainer. That is the only thing this is used for. Then you have this purple crystal, which you use to purchase packs. Yes, that's what I mean by you can't directly spend money on this game. You have to buy the actual cards and essentially import them into the game. That is the only way you can spend money on this game. There's no other way to spend money on this game. You can't just buy crystals. And you can't just buy dust. Yeah, this is how you, like, redeem codes to get cards. Otherwise, you're picking them up from the Battle Pass, which, again, you have to get crystals, which you just get them from, like, doing a couple missions and playing the game. You get the Battle Pass. The great thing is, you can exchange those crystals, because, again, these crystals are just for buying booster packs, or buying a level on the Battle Pass. So you can just exchange them for a tier, and the Battle Pass gives you those same booster packs for cheaper. So just put the crystals back into the Battle Pass. Just put it back in there. And then you'll get cards for, like, whatever, like, booster pack it is. And anything extra is automatically converted in the crystals. So I just got, like, 2 levels, essentially. Like I said, I already have, like, max of that. Yeah. I already have max of this card, so that's, like, 20 crystals back in my pocket. Or 20 dust back in my pocket. And in terms of decks, I'll just go in here. You just hit this button, and you just craft the cards. And in fact, that is helpful. Do the energy one. That's an easier. You can craft any version of a card you want. Some are going to be worth more than others. But, like, if you want an alt art, you can just craft an alt art. Like, for example, here's a Miraidon. Here's, like, the basic of it. Here's a slightly different version of it. Here's an alt art of it. This is another alt art of it. Here's a fancy version of that alt art. Here's a fancier version of that alt art. You can craft these, but, like, they're all going to be different cost. So, like, a base one of these is, like, 600. Whereas, like, the most fancy of fancy alt arts is, like, 2,000. So if you want the fancy art, you can have the fancy art. If you don't want the fancy art, you don't have to. I think those are still in all the pull rates and stuff for the packs and stuff. I know... where? There is a drop rate that you can look at for card packs. It pulls up in your browser, so 1 second. I have to swap scenes. Yeah, here's your, like, pull rate. This is all here. It shows you, like, what your odds are and what you can get per pack. Yeah. But it's easy to access that. That's probably the key point. Is like, yes, they have to put it out there. That doesn't mean they have to make it easy for you to get that information. I'm sure that's a loophole in the law. But here it's just, oh yeah, I'm buying this pack. What's the drop rate on this? And just click the button and look. And like I said, it is easy to get into because, like, I've built, what is it? Four decks, technically. Technically, this is a modification of this one. But all these decks you see here, you're just given these decks. And these are all viable decks. And they're all fairly easy to understand. Theme is... There's not really... I'll put it this way. There's not an archetype, necessarily. It's more like in Magic the Gathering, where it's color. You want to build to a color. Because you have to put energy onto cards to activate them, and they are going to require specific energy. So, I'll pull up my punch deck that I've been using. So this Glimmet requires 2 fighting energy to do its move. So you're kind of building to color, much like with Magic, but instead of the energy being kind of like a universal like thing that you tap and go, it's attached to your specific Pokemon. So you're more towards building the color, and then whatever is available to you within those colors is kind of like what you're trying to do. So like this deck here is just trying to like get Glamora out to like shrink my opponent's bench so they only have so many options then. Or like get Lucario out so I can punch the front thing or punch their active Pokemon for 160 damage and then punch one of their back row Pokemon for like 50 damage. You're kind of just trying to go, all right, what do I want to run? And then what will work with it is kind of like what you're trying to get at. And like I said, all these like free decks you got, they give you, they're built with that same mentality. Like this Arcanine deck that I've personally modified into a different version is all about like getting this Arcanine out and balancing out its damage to really make this Raging Claw worthwhile. Otherwise, it's pulling out this big Charizard, or at least getting this Charizard on your bench to be like, hey, would you like to not have to worry about 1 extra energy on all of your attacks and stuff? What if everything costs 1 less energy? And then, like, your Bidoof and Bibarel here are for, like, defensive options. That's kind of, like, what you're trying to do with, like, the Pokemon. Which is nice, because then it's like, okay, what's my favorite Pokemon? Pikachu? Alright, Pikachu's the big one. What's a cool Pikachu? Like, I'll go in here and just go. Like, here's all sorts of Pikachus. Pikachu's the main. What can we do to support him, depending on the Pikachu we choose in this situation? Because there's all sorts of different Pikachus that all do all different things. Yeah, every Pikachu you see here is a different Pikachu. So, like, this Pikachu is, like, 190 health. You get 1 electric for 1 energy. You do 20 damage. And if you flip a coin, or when you flip a coin, if it is heads, opponent's paralyzed. Then here's a different Pikachu. Still 190 health, but for 1 normal energy, or really 1 any energy, Pika Punch. But then for 220, do 220. Or for 2 electric, and then 1, like, not any energy, it's 220 damage. And then you flip a coin. If it's tails, you discard all the energy on this card. Like, there's options. And even if it's, like, I don't know, something, like, less popular than Pikachu. Let's say, as I'm scrolling through here, try to find somebody that's, like, less popular. You have, like, Cacnea here, who's, like, there's 3 versions of Cacnea. Like, 1 for 2 energy, you do 50. 1 is, like, 1 energy for 10, 2 energy for 20. This one has an ability, which is either, like, a passive or an active, depending on the ability. This one, let's see, if it's in the active spot, and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, you put 3 damage counter, which is essentially 30 damage, on the attacking Pokemon. Because a single damage counter in this game is 10 damage. And also keep in mind, since Pokemon do evolve and, like, get bigger, for all intents and purposes, any of these Cacnea can go into, like, this Cacturn. because it just needs to be a Cacnea. Unless it's like something very specific like a Pokemon V or a V Max. Then it should be able to go in there. Like this Celebi V can only really go into this V Max. But this is like the only two Celebis you're like worried about that are available to you. Like I said, if you have a favorite Pokemon, run it on main, see what its abilities are, see what it can do, and then just build a deck around it, and then just go. Yeah, it can get complex after a while, but to quote this tweet I saw, because it was someone talking about teaching Pokemon to, like, I think a nephew of his. Taught him Pokemon in, like, 20 minutes. He was, like, dropping down big Pokemon, you know, hitting stuff. All that. The kid's mom came in. He taught her how to play the TCG, and again, like, 20 minutes or so. She was doing cool, fun stuff as well. That's, like, I think, like, what works about Pokemon is there's a fairly, probably decently high skill ceiling in here of, like, okay, I can probably do some crazy kooky stuff with this. But the floor is on the lower end. I can just go, hey, this Pokemon looks cool. What's it do? And then just go from there. It also helps that, like, deck building in this is fairly subsectioned out. So, like, you're going for a 60-card deck at minimum. So you want, like, enough Pokemon to be there. And I believe the max is 4 per card, I believe. Yeah, it's max 4 per card. But then you have trainer cards, which are your support cards. You know, these are essentially spell cards, more or less. Like, draw 3 cards. Or, here's a field spell from Yu-Gi-Oh! Here's a attachment to throw on your Pokemon to make it do better things. Here's a thing to get me an energy. Here's a thing to recycle energy. Here's a thing to swap out Pokemon. And then, of course, your energy is just off on its own as well, of just like, all right, how many of energy I need? And for the most part, you just need the basics. You just need whatever energy you need for your deck. If you're running a fighting type deck, you just need that fighting type energy. Like, you could get complicated with, like, all this stuff, all these fancier energies and stuff, but you don't need to. Not really, unless you're trying to get optimized with your deck, but if you're just starting out, you're probably not worried about all these. You're just like, okay, what's the color of my deck? Oh, it's this color? Okay, I just need, you know, so many. And they give you, like, 60 energy of, like, several different, like, card arts. So you're not stuck with, like, this one. You can choose, like, this one, or 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 this one. It's whatever you feel like with, like, looks visually appealing to you. So you never have to, like, craft energy again, unless it's, like, this super specific energy. And also, you can make decks even if you don't have the cards. So as you're getting materials and stuff, you can, you know, build the deck, and eventually you can, you know, test it out. Because you have this button here that lets you just test the deck. Even if it's not complete, it's not finished, you can still test it and see how it will go. I'm pretty sure Master Duel doesn't even have the option for you to just test your deck. Just one click. I'd like to see how this deck runs. And also, this game's free. It's on PC. I think it's on, like, consoles. It might be. I don't remember. But it's on PC. It's on mobile. It's a fairly decent client. But honestly, Yu-Gi-Oh! Or not Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon's fairly easy to get into. It's kind of like the game series itself. It's simple. This is made for kids to get into and, slap cards down and, hit the Pokemon really hard with the cool fancy attacks. And also, Pokemon's on set rotation, so power creep isn't a super big factor you have to worry about. Because eventually, the big, dumb, broken stuff will get cycled out eventually, and you don't have to worry about it. And also, if you're worried about type advantage, the typing in this game is, like, somewhat similar to the games, but it's always right there on the card. Whatever your Pokemon's weak to, or whatever it's strong against. So you don't have to remember, a freaking Excel sheet size, like, type chart. Yes, this is... one of the tracks from Harmony Heroes. No, I run a little playlist of video game music. This is one of the tracks from the Harmony of Heroes album that is a bunch of, like, fan-arranged, fan-made versions of songs from all the different, like, franchises that are involved in Smash Brothers. So this is one of the Zelda ones. That game, just don't give me energy. But that's on here. The Breath of the Wild soundtrack is on here. Skullgirls soundtrack is on here. Shovel Knight. A couple Persona, or like the Persona 5 soundtrack. The Christmas song from Payday 2. A couple Persona 3 songs are on here. I forget what all. Oh, the entire original Ace Attorney trilogy soundtrack. And then, like, Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3. And then Bloodstain is in like the playlist I have. It's just an iTunes playlist I have of just songs I have on my computer that I just run whenever it's a game that I'm just like, we don't need the music for this game. I'd rather run my own thing. But you can see what the song is because it's scrolling in like top left of the stream. It took me forever to find a plugin that just lets me do that instead of having to capture the iTunes window and like compress that down just to the little player that's at the top of iTunes. It's like snip.exe is what I have to run. I forget what the exact name of it is. But it took me forever to find it and then get the friggin' thing working. When I initially did it, it didn't work. When I finally got it running, I'm just like, oh, thank God I don't have to do this. Oh, when I was capturing it, I had to keep iTunes just in the background, but not minimized, because it was fine as long as iTunes was not minimized. But here it's just like, oh, I can have iTunes minimized, and that's fine. I know Tommy, who does streaming with me. He does a Spotify playlist with a plugin and all that. It's just the different things we do for what we do on here. I really don't want to put. One of the people I followed does Xenoblade content. And they're doing a video on one of the characters from Xenoblade Chronicles 3 that's very mysterious and very what the fuck is the deal with this character. None of us have any idea. They're so mysterious. And he's like, I'm done editing the video. You'd see it Tuesday, I'm done. It's like 12 pages on like one of these like main characters. Luxon, for anyone wondering. That's on YouTube. Y'all are interested in knowing far too much about Xenoblade lore. Well, that's helpful. For fuck's sakes. Just keep swapping out cards. Really? Oh, wow. Guys almost decked themselves out. AI is not the smartest, if I'm being honest. Oh, I have none in my discard. Yeah, that's what the VMAXs are, essentially. They're the Dynamax G-Maxes of the card game. So you get the Chupachu. Of course, you have to be careful since if you're running any of the fancier, like XV, or I think it's at least the EX, and your opponent does get more prize cards for flopping them. There's not a G-Max Wailord, but you can still Dynamax Wailord because Dynamaxing essentially is the same thing as a G-Max. They just don't get a form change out of it. So you still get like a giant Wailord. He just isn't a fancy giant Wailord. Darn, I lost the coin toss. Ow. Bought my desk. Oh, I had to take a mulligan. That means we get a card. It took me a while to, like, land on a deck and snap. Once I found, like, destroy options and found I had, like, most of the options you want for destroy, I've kind of just ran that. Granted, I also have, is it untap.gg? Which, like, automatically, like, looks at my library and goes, here's all the decks you can run that we've, like, tracked. So it's a little easier to, like, find decks. Yeah, Untap does it automatically. And funny enough, they're, the in-game deck builder, will pretty much spit out any decks that's the exact same that Untap tells you about. From the little bit of experimentation I've done, which is kind of fun. Because it's probably working off the same data sets via the APIs and all that. Well, there's one thing to put on the bench. I forget. The only problem I've had with Untapped is that, unfortunately, its overlay does not capture on stream. I don't know why. I've still yet to figure out workaround to get it to capture on stream, but I have not been able to get the overlay to capture on, which is why I've not run it the last few times I've played. Yeah, I don't know. It was working for a while, and then all of a sudden, I will have it open, and I will visually see on my end the untapped overlay, but OBS can't see it, which is so weird. 'Cause I'm like, I can see this. I can interact with I can hit buttons here and move stuff around, but OBS won't see it, so you on Twitch can't see it, and I don't know why, because I know other people are running Untapped and can show the overlay, so I'm like, something's wrong with my capture. I've just not bothered to, like, fix it. Really need to do this. That works. That helps a lot. That would make sense. That might be what I have to do. It's not like the biggest deal, but it is just that one little. No, Tiger Lily. This is just the PC version of TCG Live. I got a draw card, that's fine. Got my field spell. Oh, there's an overlay for TCG Live? I didn't know. That's news to me. Yeah, this is just my punch deck that I've pulled together. That is... this one? I forgot. Right. Turn ends on that ability. Right. Bibarals are protecting. Right? Yeah, that Bibaral. Oh, okay. Huh. Weird. Well, that's a problem. Oh, no. buff. Maybe just missed a card effect. This is a discard deck? That's the second time around they've tried to discard my cards in this. Don't have a powers. Makes sense that the realize I did not turn on the thing for my mic. I've had it turned off this entire time. All right. Okay, we gotta end this duel like fast. Actually, energy recycle's gonna like buy us a little bit of time. Another Lucario for our troubles. What do you do specifically? Oh. Okay. Just, if you're behind, you get to swap a Pokemon for free. Alright, fine. That's fine. We don't have a good way of swapping, which is not great. That's not great. It's a no good. That's a no bueno. Ugh. I was hoping for a way to swap game. I think what's rocking it. Yeah. Rant, which doesn't help us. Yeah. I was about to say, we have no damage to heal. So we're kind of just stuck waiting. Oh, we're down to 10 cards. We're probably losing this. I'm willing to bet. Yeah, especially if they get the triple. Because we are one prize card short from really... And, yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, we have no way to get cards back in our deck, so... GG's. Fair enough on the strategy. They could literally end the turn and claim victory. I wonder if they realize that they can do that or not. Sir, you can end your turn and this duel is over. Are you gonna... Can you end it via that effect? No. That's what I thought. I'm confused why the attack did not go through on the skewer. I didn't think anything was protecting it, but might have been wrong. Eh. Speaking of double Spidey, I was actually going to, because I've been going for like an hour 40. I myself am going to take a break, get up, stretch, walk around, and I will be back, folks. Alright, I am back. I'm gonna swap decks. It's temperamental, but I want to run my poison deck. It's incredibly temperamental. I don't think I've quite figured out how to do a poison deck. Not the greatest start. Okay, not in the best shape off the bat. As I said, deck is temperamental. Another energy, hooray. Game, please. I need anything that isn't energy at this point. Come on, game. We're in rough shape, folks. I cannot get another basic Pokemon out of my deck. Which means, when, like, Steezer goes down here, we're done. We're Krispy Kreme done. kills us? Feels like that kills us. Yep. Thanks, deck. Thanks, deck. That went to Tata. I'll skip the Persona 5 credits. This is like only so much better game. Like only so much. Oh dear, I know this deck. Ugh. Oh, this is that Turbo Solar Rock Lunatone deck. Oh boy. Oh boy. We gotta cut this deck off at the knees fast, otherwise it snowballs real quick. That's a little helpful. But yeah, for those wondering why this is like a turbo deck, the Soul Rocks, their entire purpose in this is to be on the bench and attach a psychic energy to the Lunatone. The Lunatone's entire point is to suck up all that psychic energy and do 30 damage plus an additional 30 for every psychic energy it has. Right now it has 2, so that's what, 30, 60, 90. Once it is able to attack us, it's 120. And it will go exponentially up from there. So we got to work fast. And try to cut this stuff off at the pass. Luckily, psychic decks are weak to dark decks. So that is a benefit to us. For now. We'll see how long that lasts since he still has a Lunatone available to him. Luckily, he hasn't been able to get, like, multiple Soul Rocks on his bench. Because, by the way, this ability is once per card. So if he has multiples of these Sun Rocks, he could do that multiple times per turn. Again, the kind of, like, turbo aspect of this. Speaking of, there's 2, so he can attack us right now if he wanted, which is not great. Yeah, he's gonna be able to attack us. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Do we live? I really hope we live. We might live. If he drops another one, we're screwed. But we might live because of full face guard, I think. It's like 120. That's what I said. 369. Well, yeah, 120. Full face guard, I think, takes 30 all. 20 all. No, that's exact. Damn it. Okay, we're on the back foot now. That is how fast this is swung. Because we are now on the back foot. Because now he's going to pile up like 5. Because now he can put like 6 on there. At best. 5 at worst. Well, have 6 at best, 5 at worst. Trying to think of what like the best options are. Tried to slow him down ever so slightly by getting the Soul Rock on the field. Because the Lunatone does nothing. Luckily, we're tanky enough to not have to worry. I hope. Also, we can force him to like either use a card to like swap something or make him discard an energy. Get that Lunatone back on the field. So I can get 6 on there. Burns a card. Fair enough. I was like, I need you to burn a card, man. The thing is, we are tanky enough to survive. We can survive this. Like so. Also, he did not maximize his abilities there, which slightly scares me. That's gonna hurt. I think that kills. Yep. Shit. Fuck. Nice. How much energy do I have? 5? Okay. Or 3, actually. We need a basic of any kind. This has pretty much turned into a slugfest between the two of us. Yeah, this is the Soul Rock Lunatone turbo deck that dumps a lot of energy on the Lunatone via the Soul Rocks to make it do a stupid amount of damage. We're pretty much in a slugfest with it, and it's been back and forth. We've taken out a Lunatone from them, but they've taken out our next Pokemon. It's back and forth, and we're hard on the back foot at the current moment. Okay. Trying to think of what my options are here. Oh, that Lunatone has the XP share. Fantastic. Right, I don't know why you put it on the damaged one. You put it on the not damaged one. Okay. Do this. Do this. Do this. Do this. Do this. Go ahead, throw one of the Lunatones out. I know you will. Now you throw out the other Soul Rock. Fair enough. Oh my god. I swear I don't have the balance right in this deck. Even though it feels like I do. There's the big chunky Lunatone. I think we 6 times 30. Okay, we live for now. We still live? Even if he drops... Even when he puts that energy on, we still live. Yeah. Yeah, we still live. Good. I hope. Just barely. Deck continues to give me nothing. Energy. 7 energy. The good news is I don't think he can power up to attack us this turn. I don't think. The only way he can is if he's got another Soul Rock on in his hand. Or another way to get a Soul Rock, okay. That's game. God damn. It's always a fight with this deck. But it's always a fight like this. Because the Soul Rocks and Lunatones are so weak, it's easy to beat them down. But you've got to, like, get on them fast. Because otherwise they bounce back up like this. Well, we tried. That's fine. I don't hate fighting that deck. The super win of knocked all our Pokemon out and took all our prize cards. This is much better. This is like way better. Where was this earlier game? uh we don't need the other Croagunk out there for now. Now, I said I don't mind fighting this deck. I didn't mean give me someone else playing this exact same deck. Game, please. Wow, fired up into the V-Star already. Good boy. Well, I like to not deal with that, so we're not. Oh, good. Thank you for dropping a field spell there for me. I appreciate that. I benefit from having a field spell. Yay! We can attack next turn. Good. Won that 50-50. Ow! That damn near killed us. But it didn't. Darn, we can't attack next turn. Oh no! Damn, I'm dying. Please give me a Toxicroak. They cannot all be in my prize cards. Please. Ow. We gotta risk it. Really, game? Really? Really? I just needed one Toxicroak. No! Wouldn't give it to me. Ow. Well, Absol, it's pretty much up to you at this point. Piss off game. Double piss off. Another Eevee for my troubles. Arrgh. Feels like we lost this one. Got me a fancy Totoscroll and a Noivern. Fancy Lumion V. Well, there's one of the Pikachus we need. Now to 1. Alright. I've been going for about 2.5 hours. Tommy has not hopped on yet, and he has not said anything. He said he'd be on by like 10:30. So I think I'm going to kill the stream on my end. Just to give myself like a more extended break of sorts. Alright, see you later, Double Spidey, but I'm gonna take the stream down. If Tommy hops on, we'll be back with doing Sonic 3 and Canucks. If not, then we should be back tomorrow with looking at like the last 4 episodes of Kamen Rider Saber. So, in the meantime, if you like what we're seeing, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Chipping away at that affiliate goal at TGS Network on Mastodon.social and at TGS on Twitter. Give you updates on We Love Life. Exclamation point Discord and chat. Get this link. Drop by. Say hi. See you either after a while or tomorrow, folks.